Welcome everybody who is joining us on the National Racing Network live stream. We are here with Makeup Features. Going to kick off the action tonight here, the Summer Sizzler and Ice Cream Night at Lanco's Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway. It is my pleasure to be joined in the booth by the driver of a couple of different classes here. He pilots a 600, a 270. Every once in a while we get him in a Sportsman and a 125 and four-stroke. Bradley Brown is here with us. Bradley, how are you feeling?
Very good. Much better than I was 6 weeks ago, and happy to say I'll be back next week.
That's right. It's going to be our last time, hopefully, for this season with you in the booth with us, because you're going to be back down trackside. We'll put a two-way radio on you. We'll let you do some in-car commentary for us. How is the neck feeling? I mean, you got to be feeling pretty good if the doctors are going to let you get back in the race car.
To be honest, I'm better than I was before the accident. The therapists and the doctors have done a great job, and I'm definitely ready to be back.
All right, buddy. Well, we've got a big weekend of racing coming up next weekend, but we've still got 6 features to get through tonight and all the qualifications for 4 of those as well. We're going to kick things off with the 125 and 4-stroke division. They're going to start rolling out onto the racetrack. Let's get you the starting lineup. In row number 12, and again, this is all scheduled to start. It's a makeup feature, so the alternates may get to take a place at the back of the grid if somebody is a no-show. But in row number 12, starting in 23rd position, the LR62 with Drayson Laser. And on the outside, starting 24th, the 04 of Sam Borger. Row number 11, 21st position, the 7L of Chase Laser. And starting on the outside, position number 22, the 24 of Logan Road. Row number 10, starting 19th, the 57K, Cassidy Michael. And starting on the outside in position 20, the 112 of Dylan Yingst. Row number 9, the 55C, Iran Crossley. On the inside, starting 17th, starting 18th, the 44 of Riley Simmons. Row number 8, starting 15th, the 28 of Kyle Lindsay. And to his outside, the 77G of Isaac Gravy will roll off in position number 16. Row number 7, driving the 62, Fast Eddie No Sarah, and starting in the 14th position, the 11H of Holden Ekman. Row number 6, starting 11th, the 12 of Brent Shearer, and in 12th, the 76 of Justin Harrington. 2 very quick race cars and a couple of feature winners here at the Clyde already this season. Row number 5, the 26C of Mike Cohen starts in the 10th position, and on the inside of row number 5, the 44X of Alex Lucas will roll off in the 9th position. Starting in row number 4, position 8, the 13 of Shane Davis, and on the inside in 7th, the 56 of Dick Huzzard. Row number 3 will have the 3 of Mike Miller starting in the 6th position, and to his inside, starting 5th, the 26th of Tyler Martin. Row number 2, the 6 of Austin Gravy will be joined to his inside by the 19 of Matt Fernsler, and on the front row, the 25W of Nate Weidman, and the 3H of Zach Hollinger. Bradley, one of the interesting things to see here is that the handicapping rule is really coming into play now. Brent Shearer, Justin Harrington, 2 of the fastest cars on the racetrack here 1 week ago, are going to be starting right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, them 2 combined have several wins here and have a pretty good streak going for their team. You also got Zach Hollinger starting on the pole out of that same team, and he could pick up his 2nd win of the season tonight.
It would not be a surprise one bit to see the 3H in victory lane at the end of this one. And one of the cars that he really hasn't had the season he might have liked here, at least here anyway, is Alex Lucas. The car is quick. It almost seems like it might just be a little bit of a driver confidence issue. He has the win 1 week ago at Greenwood and 2 earlier this season.
Yeah, he's very well put together for a young driver, and the whole team, I mean, they're working hard, and they're just in a little funk right now, and all of us get there and traveling to different tracks and getting your head back on, and a clear mind is what he really needs.
All right, looks like we've got everybody out here on the racetrack now. It's just a matter, or at least most of the cars anyway, just a matter of getting them lined up. Looks like one car may be running without a transponder. So we'll get that issue taken care of here. I believe it is the 57K of Cassidy Michael. That car will come to a stop inside of the front straightaway. So they're going to single file them back out, get them lined up, and get everybody in the right spots, and then just tell them to double up again is what it sounds like is going to happen over the listening to the track communication radios here. Bradley, I would imagine as it's not a normal thing to unload, run 2 laps and 3 laps and hot laps, and then you're immediately buckled in and jacked up to go for the feature. I would imagine this probably gets pretty frustrating to the guys who were lined up in the right spots as well.
Yeah, it's not a typical night of racing for sure. These guys, a lot of them have their stuff together, and then when you have the right setup and the right combination in your car, you're not going to have to change a whole lot, and they're going to go out there and be strong right off the bat. Some of the guys that are newer in it and don't have that setup and that idea of the track and how it changes at different times of the day, they might struggle a little more on makeup and events.
One of the things that's really interesting is we're already starting to see a little bit of color going down on the racetrack. 1 week ago, it was very, very heavy. This week, we had a threat of some weather in the area, so you maybe didn't water it as heavy as you might normally. Will that play a big role in how this racetrack develops over the course of the night?
Yeah, it's always going to play a big role when you don't know what the weather's going to do. It was so unpredictable. I got up this morning thinking we weren't even going to be here. It changes, and our track guys have to jump on it when they can, and then we had that small chance of rain come through around 5 o'clock and really also made them hurry the track along a little more, get it sealed up in case we did have some rain, and they did the best job they could, and everybody's got to run on the same track.
Yep, looks like they're still working on getting the field lined up here, so let's do this. We'll take the 2-minute commercial break here, get that one out of the way early. You are watching Race Night at the Clyde here on the National Racing Network.
At 600cc Performance, our roots run deep in CC racing. A leader in fuel injection, dyno tuning, wiring, and diagnostics. With over 15 years of experience in building and tuning, you can count on us to get you to the winner's circle. Whether it is diagnostics, sales, or service, 600cc Performance is your source for everything CC racing. Find out more at 600ccperformance.com.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I've taken 25 selfies.
Welcome back to Race Night at the Clyde. Field raking their way off of turn number 2. Lineup looks good, and we are ready to go racing. Zach Hollinger, Nate Weidman on the front row. Green flags in the air. We are underway. 56 to Dick Huzzard not getting up to speed. Alex Lucas making a move to the inside, trying to get inside of the 56. Here comes Justin Harrington up to the outside. That's going to be a battle about for the 8th position. Trouble towards the back of the pack. One car coming to a stop inside of turn number 2. That is the 11H of Holden Ekman. Ekman will have to head to the tail end of the field. Looked like just a lot of beating and banging going on. Bradley, one of the things that I immediately noticed that caught my eye as these guys came off the corner the first time, with the little bit of smoky haze out here today, it has to be absolutely blinding driving down the back straightaway here.
Yeah, this time of day is definitely the hardest time to see. It's not as bad as you think looking at it from outside of the racetrack as it is in the cars. We got trees and stuff here that block a decent amount of it. Then you got your wings on, and your helmet has a little bit of a visor on it that'll block out some of the sun, and you just learn to deal with it. And once you're in the groove, I mean, you don't really notice it at all.
I'm going to say that you undersold that just a hair. Having shot photography inside of turn 2 here, you guys are one-handed driving off the corner half the time, holding one hand up, just like you would be doing driving down 95 or out the turnpike. It really is impressive how you guys are able to keep, and ladies are able to keep control of these race cars. I would imagine the sun baking down is not really going to help things, and we talked about it a little bit last week about how 3 and 4 ends up in shade quicker, and that moisture can come up to the surface a little faster. It is going to be really fun to watch this racetrack develop tonight. We really could have 2 completely opposite ends of the racetrack.
Yeah, it's a big possibility, especially we've only had maybe 1 full lap of feature event on the track so far, and we already have shade on turn 3. So if it just keeps going along the way it is, the track shouldn't get too slicked off or put any color down in that turn, but we'll see how it progresses throughout the night.
Just getting the 112 of Dylan Yingst slotted back in here. So that car looks like it should be ready to go. Field's getting the signal to double up. Hopefully they can get the one to go signal. Looks like it may have to be another go round here. So the field's going to get the one to go signal this next time by the start finish line. Still Zach Hollinger and Nate Weidman at the front of the field. Matt Fernsler and Austin Graby in row number 2. Tyler Martin and Mike Miller in row 3. Row 4, Dick Huzzard and Shane Davis. Row 5, Alex Lucas and Mike Cohen. Field really getting bottled up on the start. Green flags in the air. We'll see if it's going to stick. Zach Hollinger jumps out to a nice lead as Field comes cleanly off at turn number 4. Here comes Matt Fernsler into the inside of Nate Weidman off at 2. The 6 of Austin Graby holds on to the 4th position. 5th to the 3 of Mike Miller. Justin Harrington trying out the high side, starting to make it work. He's going to look to get outside of Brent Shearer. Shearer slides up the racetrack. Feeds him a right rear off the corner. Contact inside of 3 and 4. Trouble for the 12 of Brent Shearer. Tried to force the issue early. Brent Shearer goes around. Looks like pieces coming off of that race car as well. Race director Doug Michael out there to get the pieces picked up. I believe there may have been some contact to the 44X of Alex Lucas as well. See if there's an issue with the right rear on that 44X. Bradley, what's that first sign? You know you made the contact, but what do you first feel normally in that scenario?
You just feel for low tires, steering, any kind of tightness in the car. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it through the motor, not wanting to rev up the speed. Looks like Alex Lucas has a flat left front. He's going to head for the infield.
We talked about a guy wanting to have a little bit better luck here, and, well, it just looks like the luck is going to stay about the same for that 44X team. And a fantastic support group in the Paint Tour. We know a lot of those folks are watching tonight. Thank you for joining us. The left front is flat on that car, however. He'll head to the infield, and that will end the feature for Alex Lucas. So Brent Shearer at the back of the pack. Almost looks like the back portion of the rear wing may have come off there on the inside.
Yeah, that makes me assume that the wings made contact between him and Lucas. I don't see any damage on Lucas's wing, but you just hit just right, and the weaker point's what gives.
Yeah, it almost looks like it just kind of folded and snapped clean off. I would imagine for lightness purposes and that sort of stuff, it's more of a riveted part than you're going to get a hard weld somewhere and adding a bunch of metal to that type of joint.
Yep, and it's aluminum rivets on an aluminum wing, so it doesn't take a whole lot to really do damage.
So the field's going to get ready to double up. 2 laps are in the books. Zach Hollinger still the race leader. At the time of the caution, he had 1 second over Matt Fernsler. Nate Weidman and Austin Graby will make up row number 2 on the restart. Mike Miller and Shane Davis in row 3, Justin Harrington, Tyler Martin in row number 4. We expected a show out of this one from Shearer and Harrington coming through the field. Now we're going to get to see the show of Brent Shearer coming from the back.
Yeah, it's going to really be a show. He's an aggressive driver, and he's going to make the moves early, and he's not going to mess around a whole lot. He knows that Justin made a move on the top and got to the outside of him, so he knows that's there for his ability, and he's only got 2 laps in the book, so he's got a full feature ahead of him.
Yeah, a whole lot of time to work with here, and with the full field, it is $500 on the line. I would assume with the 24 cars that we have here, you're talking at least another $500 to win in the next feature. Somebody could leave here with $1,000 tonight. That's not a bad way to kick off the Labor Day party that's coming up. Field makes their way off of turn number 2. Hollinger and Fernsler at the front of the field. Weidman and Graby in row number 2. Green flag in the air. Here's Weidman to the inside of Fernsler off the corner. Oh, big hit. How did Austin Graby save that car in the 6th? He was pointed straight at the outside wall. The 62 LR Drayson Laser into the outside wall. Contact off of turn number 2. That's going to bring out the caution flag as Drayson Laser and Dylan Yanks make contact and come to a stop, blocking most of the exits at turn number 2. Track safety crew on the scene. They'll get those cars separated and refired. Not real heavy contact, but Brent Shearer only able to get around a handful of cars. And Bradley, we had a wreck here off of turn 4. They just didn't finish the job on that one.
Yeah, like I said, Brent was making very aggressive moves early. He had 1 car up in the fence and was just shoving his way through in any opening he saw. And I think that's where that wreck started from. Everybody got real out of shape, and we're just trying to gather it back up and got into each other.
It is so easy to get these cars bound up together, and when you're on top of each other, you don't want to lift and get run over. And at the same time, I would imagine you're kind of looking at, where do I want to take the hit? I know if I don't lift, I'm going to hit somebody in front of me. If I do lift, somebody behind me is going to hit me. Can't be real comfortable for a driver.
Yeah, without rear view mirrors, you don't know what's behind you. The whole field behind you could be out of the race already, and you don't know. And same thing with leading. I mean, Zach Hollinger, he might think that he's got guys right on him, and he seems like he's doing a pretty good job of getting a good restart and getting a few car lengths in between him and the 2nd place.
And now with the single file restart that's coming, Zach's going to have an opportunity to set the terms on the restart. We have the rule in place that you get 1 shot at a double file restart. If you don't get a lap in, we're going to make you go single file until you get a lap in the books. Justin Harrington, the big mover so far, started in the 12th position. He will now restart in 8th. Once again, they really bottle the field up. Big aggressive move by Cassidy Michael inside of Riley Simmons, going into 3. Chase Laser going to come right with her. Race leaders make their way off at turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Caution on the Speedway. Hearing a penalty being issued. Sounds like a penalty being issued to the 55C of Ron Crossley. He will head to the rear, passing before the line, basically before the green flag came back out. That is the reason for the caution. Lights are going out. We're getting ready to go back to green. Want to make a quick mention. You see the 44 of Riley Simmons, Boyer Strong, on the wing of that car. Jason Boyer, the girlfriend of one of our track photographers, Keegan Simmons, involved in a pretty serious car accident this week. You can get some Boyer Strong gear at the Kim's Creations photo and novelty stand. Jason, we're thinking about you, buddy. Hope you get well soon. Green flag back out on the racetrack. Zach Hollinger is going to hold a 2-car length lead. Already a half track ahead of the 55C at Crossley. Leaders will be in lap traffic before too long. Justin Harrington making the big move on the 26 of Tyler Martin into turns 1 and 2. Martin slides high off the corner. Easily gives that spot to Harrington. Harrington going to look right back inside of Shane Davis. Man, again, stuffs that 76 to the inside. Justin Harrington is the man on the move right now. The same can't really be said for Brent Shearer. He's gained a few spots up to the 14th position. Looks like trouble for the 77 as that car slows to the outside at turns 3 and 4. Isaac Graby. Oh, and a big wad of cars coming down the front straightaway. Caution flag will fly for the 77. Only 5 laps in the books. Zach Hollinger, still the race leader. His lead of 1.4 seconds over Matt Fernsler will be erased, and this time it'll be a double file restart. Trouble for the number 44 of Riley Simmons. The curse of the announcer strikes again. Riley pulls off into the infield. Field's going to get the signal to double up, so don't think it'll be this time by, but being the 5th caution flag of the race, this will be the last attempt at a double file restart. Bradley, how does that affect your thought process as a driver? If you're mid-pack, you know this is your last best shot to go after the front of the field.
Yeah, if you're near the back, like Brent Shearer and some of these guys that are stuck in the back right now, this is your next best opportunity to tick off a bunch of positions really fast, and that's what they're going to need at this point. The track seems like it's slicking off pretty quick, especially in 1 and 2, and it's going to become a track that it's very hard to pass on.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of color already going down on the racetrack, especially on that inside line. It'll be interesting to see if they do some track prep work before we get to even the heat races for the regularly scheduled night of racing. Trouble for the 19. Oh, big hit in the outside wall. Huge hit for Nate Weidman into the turn 2 retaining wall. That car comes to a stop. The 19 of Matt Fernsler got spun around in mid-corner. Matt Fernsler got spun around sideways, did not come to a stop. The caution flag flying for the very heavy impact of Nate Weidman. Bradley, we can sort of see it here on the screen just a little bit. I mean, the whole left rear wheel is really banged up. That was an intense hit.
Yeah, it looked like him and the 19 got together, and it might have broke a front arm or something in the front end that it shot that car straight up into the wall. Had no steering. It reflexes that when you have something like that in the middle of the turn at speed is tough to really get yourself slowed down before you get into the wall. He hit with the more of the front and the right side a little bit, and has damage even on the left rear, so you can only imagine what that right side looks like.
Yeah, good to see Nate out of the race car. We were actually talking off air a little bit about this, but that was sort of the kind of hit that really hurt you. It's that sudden stop with not a lot of give. The wall is not going to give, and it really is a matter of, does one of the removable pieces hit, or does the frame take the brunt of the impact? There, good to see that Nate Weidman's able to get out of the race car. So now the field's getting the last chance to get off the racetrack here, and we do have a time limit on these races. I would imagine with getting these cars out of the infield, if they don't do this quickly, we're going to rapidly approach that time limit. We've only got 5 laps in the books. Does that change your mindset as a driver? You don't necessarily know that you're approaching the time limit unless race control tells you. Do you think about that at all? Like, man, we got to be getting close here. I got to go.
Yeah, you have that in the back of your mind, but also we could hit a green flag run here and go right to the end of the race. So you got to really have that in your mind too, that this isn't over. Just because the time's getting close, anything can happen, and until that checkered flag flies, just think you're in for a full race.
So we'll see Alex Lucas now off the racetrack. Also the 56 of Dick Huzzard being pushed off as well. The 25 of Nate Weidman is going to go on the trailer.
Chris, this is the same thing we saw last week in the sportsman race. A lot of these guys dropping out early with damage, and some of them not too heavy. Alex Lucas, he's got just a left front down, needs to get that fixed. But then you have guys like Nate Weidman that is expected to race all night, run his heat race, and then has another feature yet tonight. And he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to make it back out for that.
Yeah, that was one of the interesting things that came into play as we ran the second set of features for the night, was who was going to come out. We didn't even run a consi in the sportsman division. It's really going to be interesting to see how many of these cars are able to get out there. And for a car like Riley Simmons or Isaac Raby, this is a long time to sit in the infield when they could be back working on the race cars. I mean, it's just a matter of who are you going to get off and when. Field makes their way down the back straightaway, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Once again, 20 laps still remain in this one. First feature of the night here at the Summer Sizzler. Zach Hollinger holds on to the race lead, but Matt Fernsler once again under attack. Here comes the 6 of Austin Graby to the inside. Oh, nice pass by Austin Graby. Move him up to position number 2. Here comes Justin Harrington outside of Mike Miller. He's wound up high, wide, and handsome off of turn 2. Going to run the same line through turns 3 and 4, about halfway up the racetrack. Gaining ground quickly on the third place, running 19 of Matt Fernsler. Oh, had to stomp on the brakes. That 19 looks like it is an absolute handful, really loose on corner exit. The yellow flag is out. One car goes around in turn 2. The 62 LR of Drayson Laser going around in turn 2. So we have 8 laps in the books, still not to the halfway point of this one yet. Already 20 minutes has gone by on the race clock as well. .30-minute time limit. We're down to 9 minutes remaining in this one. Zach Hollinger holding on to the lead. Has not gained a ton of time. The last short green flag run we had, the lead was 1.3 seconds. This run, 1 1/4 seconds, so right about in the same ballpark. The difference is it was Matt Fernsler who was running second at the last restart. This time it'll be Austin Graby. And Justin Harrington has already moved his way to the 4th position. He's +8 and the hard charger of the feature so far. Working on getting the 62 LR restarted. Looks like the four-wheeler is going to back up. Working on getting the 62 LR now on the hook. Once again, it's going to be a single file restart. Zach Hollinger will lead Austin Graby, Matt Fernsler, Justin Harrington, and Mike Miller to the green flag. We're going to be down to inside 5 minutes remaining, or at least right about there, by the time we get back to green flag racing here. 24 minutes, 15 seconds has already expired, so this one's going to be a timed race. Bradley, how good were your timekeeping skills as a driver inside the car? Because now these guys know it's going to be on the time limit. They've been out here long enough.
The time limit for me is you start cramping up. You know that it's getting to be a long race, especially guys like Zach. He's out front. He doesn't know what's going on behind him. He just is wondering why the heck we can't get some green laps run. He wants his race to be over as soon as possible, and he's been sitting there wondering for the past half an hour. So he wants this to be over just as much as maybe Graby wants it to go one more lap, and he's got another shot at it.
Yep, we are now at the 25-minute mark. according to timing and scoring. So we're inside of 5 minutes remaining. The singular green flag at the start-finish line means we are ready to go back to racing, and it's go time now in a big way for the drivers here at the front of the field. Austin Gravy tried to leave a little bit of a gap. Matt Fernsler right there as well. Little bit of a shot from Mike Miller gets Justin Harrington seemingly refired. Harrington looks to the outside in turns 1 and 2, crossing over underneath of Fernsler down the back straightaway. Not quite close enough to make the attempt there. Here comes Tyler Martin inside of Mike Miller. Trouble for the 3. That car very slow up against the outside wall. We'll see if he's going to be able to get to the infield. Caution flag on the speedway once again. 1 lap was scored, so it'll be 9 laps remaining. But trouble for the 3 of Mike Miller. And Bradley, I mean, depending on how long this takes to either get him refired or off the racetrack, this could be it.
Yeah, this could be it, and you also gotta see these guys are. Some of them could be playing a fuel game, and that could be the case with Mike Miller. He could have been running a little less fuel than a lot of these guys, and under caution, your car is gonna run just fine. But as soon as you try and give it a little throttle and it's gonna try and draw a little extra fuel, it's gonna be on fumes and cut out on you.
It'll be interesting to see if anybody else at the front of the field is trying something similar. Yep, the 3's going to need the hook. So four-wheelers get hooked up to him pretty quick and get them towed off into the infield. Now approaching 27 minutes on the clock. We're down to 3 minutes remaining. Looks like they're going to try to actually run Mike Miller up off the racetrack here really quick. And to tell you, Bradley, a little thing like that, like towing that one race car off, we've lost right about 45 additional seconds here in this feature race. That's a very big deal here. We're counting in moments now.
Yeah, you when it comes down to this and we're this close to a time limit, you get them in the infield as fast as you can, lined up, and the green back out.
Lights are out. Green flag is back in the air. We are underway. Nobody hit the cone. That would have brought out an automatic yellow. 2 minutes remaining. Zach Hollinger holds on to the race lead. Here comes Justin Harrington inside of Matt Fernsler down the back straightaway. Fernsler slams the door shut. Harrington gets a little bit of bite off the bottom of the corner. How about Cassidy Michael in the 57? Cassidy running through the field as Harrington comes around Fernsler. Cassidy Michael started 19th. This time by, she runs in the 6th position. 11 laps on the board. A minute and a half left in the race. That 57K machine is hooked up and headed towards the front. Justin Harrington catching up towards the back of Austin Gravy. Not able to make up a ton of ground, but we're seeing more and more cars head to the top of the racetrack. Cross flags are out. That's the halfway point, but that's on the lap count, not on the number of laps that may actually be remaining, because we are down to 1 minute to go. Next flag. Already catching up into lap traffic. The 18 of Ron Young going 1 lap down. Once we hit the 30-minute time limit, trouble for the 6 of Austin Gravy. Second place running car, pulls it off into the infield. Justin Harrington's got to have a shot at the race leader now, but he has got a long way to go to get that gap made up. We'll pick up the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Matt Fernsler, Cassidy Michael, Tyler Martin, Chase Laser, all getting ready to battle here. Just 15 seconds remain in the time limit. At that point, the next flag will end it. They won't get the white flag at 30 minutes. They get the next flag that will end the race.
that top side for Justin Harrington really is working for him. He definitely found something up there, and he's reeling in Zach Hollinger. And these lap cars might play a big role in that.
I was just going to say, the 0-4 is Sammy Borger out of the way to the high side in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Justin Harrington's going to have to work around that with some of these lap cars running his preferred line at the moment. Zach Hollinger, the race leader, caught up behind the 112 of Dylan Yingst. Hollinger still not able to clear the lap car. The 24 of Logan Road in front, the 55C of Ron Crossley there as well. Justin Harrington closing in a hurry. Where does the race leader get through the lap traffic? Hollinger looks to the inside of Logan Road through turns 1 and 2. Lap number 22 on the board, going to be 2 to go this next time by. Oh, big hit to the inside tires for Hollinger. New race leader Justin Harrington at the line, 2 to go. Can Zach Hollinger catch up to the 76? Drama late in the race. Lap traffic once again, big into play. Huge hit for Harrington. Hollinger slows on the racetrack. White flag is out, 1 to go. Harrington, how did he keep his foot in that? Trouble for the 3. Checkered flag in the air. Justin Harrington picks up the win. Cassidy Michael jumps to 2nd. New 3rd place finisher, Chase Laser at the line. The 3H of Zach Hollinger falls from 1st to 5th in 2 laps. And we have a fantastic finish here. Justin Harrington gets the win by almost 3 seconds over Cassidy Michael and Chase Laser.
Check, check. How about it, race fans? First feature win of the night for Justin Harrington. Let's pick up the Victory Lane interview here with Justin Harrington. Justin, that was a fantastic run. We come out of here and you say, I didn't want to do it that way. Bradley Brown in the tower seems to think he may have run out of fuel. What were you thinking in that last handful of laps?
Honestly, the same thing. Am I going to make it? You know, we mess around so much. I don't know what the deal was. We couldn't get the cars up on the four-wheelers, stuff like that. You know, it happens. But, you know, under them caution laps, you're just sitting there thinking, you know, do I have enough fuel in this thing? And obviously we did. We'll find out at the scale house. But, yeah, man, that was, I mean, finding that top early, nobody tries it. You know, you're down along the tires. You got to go where they're not. And this thing's rolling so good at the top. I could gain on them guys so quick where they're coming off and buzzing their tires off. And, you know, I thought we were maybe a top 5 car. But once we got that run strung out there and I kept reeling them guys in, I don't know what happened to Gravy. Probably ran out of fuel too. But, yeah, I didn't think I was going to catch Zach, and then I thought, okay, well, here we go in lap traffic, and he almost dumped it over there. And honestly, I mean, 55 was crackling and popping right in front of me, and I had nowhere to go, so I got caught up with him a little bit. But thank God nobody was near me that we could win another one.
All right, buddy. Congratulations on the win. Who do you got to thank?
First and foremost, my sponsors, Alfred and Sam's Italian Bakery, Clay Realty, Harrington Properties, and my dad and Zach. He comes over and helps work on the cars. And, yeah, everybody that works on this thing. James and Jamie come faithfully every week and push my big butt out in this racetrack. Thank you, James and Jamie. We love you.
All right, race fans. How about it, Justin Harrington?
At 600cc Performance, our roots run deep in CC racing. A leader in fuel injection, dyno tuning, wiring, and diagnostics. With over 15 years of experience in building and tuning, you can count on us to get you to the winner's circle. Whether it is diagnostics, sales, or service, 600cc Performance is your source for everything CC racing. Find out more at 600ccperformance.com.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I've taken 25 selfies in the last 10 minutes.
26.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back to those of you that are watching the National Racing Network live stream. Coming up now, the 270 makeup feature will head out onto the racetrack. Once again, 24 cars scheduled for the start. Bradley, you're sitting down here with us again, and the comment was, I wish I could have come back a week early. What are you seeing in this racetrack that you think this is going to be a good one?
I see a top dominant racetrack. There's still a good amount of moisture on the top at both ends of the track, and it's going to make the 270 race really exciting.
Yeah, this one should be a good one. let's get you the starting lineup for it, starting with row number 12. In the 24th position, the 25 of Tom Landwehr, and to his outside, the 11 of Mike Urich. Row number 11, the 17J of Jared Imler, and the 2020 of Corey Schmuck Jr. Row number 10, the 53 of Brent Shearer, and the 8Z of Nate Gibble. Row 9, the 1L of Dave Lape, and the 3 of TJ Grieve will start in the 18th and 17th positions, respectively. Row number 8, starting in 16th, the 22 of Clinton Hauser, and to his inside, starting 15th, the 88D of Andrew Dietrich. Row number 7, the 54 Dakota Bartlett will line up on the outside, starting inside position number 13, the 49W of Johnny West. Row 6, the 2 of Mike Miller will line up on the outside, and on the inside, the 55 of Pete Skias. Row number 5, the 3S of Nick Skias, and the 96W of Chase Walker. Starting 8th on the outside of row number 4, the 02 of Alex Swift, and on the inside, the 63 of Tajay Adams. 56H of Zach Collinger will start in the 6th position, and the 82 of Heath Hanley will roll off in position number 5. Row number 2, the 29J of Danny Lane Jr. and the 5K of Mike Rutherford, and on the front row, the 87 of Austin Gravy and the 92 of Jason Swavely. One of the interesting things about this lineup so far, Bradley, is that 29J did not take a lap in hot laps. Not sure if it was just an arrival time issue or something going on with the race car, but that car is completely unproven. The 5K of Mike Rutherford picked up the win 1 week ago, but man, does he have 2 quick cars ahead of him too.
Yeah, having Jason Swavely starting on the pole is going to be a tough feat for any of these guys to get by, especially on a top dominant track the way it is. The one that could do it is Mike Rutherford sitting third, and you never know it with Danny Lane. This could be a no practice win, could go and get his season finally started.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's normally a driver that we hear at least a little bit about over the course of the season with some good runs. That car was very, very quick 1 week ago, and the positivity in some of the social media posts this week has been really ratcheted up a notch. That kid's confident.
Yeah, he needs a little bit of confidence. He's been having them little struggles that get you just outside the top 5, outside the top 10, maybe a DNF, and they add up and they take a toll on you and your team, and he really needs something to turn his luck around this year.
Fields in the start box, green flag in the air. We are underway in the 270 makeup feature. Swavely able to hold on to the race lead. Rutherford, a little bit of contact into the back of Gravy. That's going to open up the door for Heath Hanley to look to the inside. Danny Lane Jr. gets outside of Tajay Adams. 2x2 off of turn 4 for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Rutherford holds on to the spot. Hanley running the inside, but he's the only car in the top 5 to do so. Danny Lane gets that car wound up, stuffs it inside. It'll be interesting to see how that battle shakes out, because Rutherford tried the inside as well in turns 3 and 4. Bradley, could this be something where we see a little bit of that change between each end of the racetrack? Oh, trouble for Danny Lane. He goes around. Corey Schmuck Jr. hard into the outside wall in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, to answer your question, Chris, the sun is definitely going behind some clouds now, and it could bring this track back a little bit. Seems like the main groove on the bottom's a little too far gone for it to really have any kind of impact on it. But it's definitely something I think a couple minutes of track prep here after these races can't fix.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So Danny Lane getting the push off. We'll see if that car is going to refire. The 2020 of Corey Schmuck Jr. also pulls off into the infield. Looks like the 29J will be able to get back out onto the racetrack. That almost looks like a little bit, I don't know that it's a different car, but the bodywork is definitely different from the 3rd Gen Motorsports artwork that we're used to seeing on the 29J.
Yeah, it's definitely not the newer style car either. That's an older style RTS. Yeah, I know that his original car is not. It looks like it's might be the 49 that Alex Swift drove last week. That was a car swap, it looks like, for this race tonight.
Field already getting doubled up. They should get the 1-to-go signal this time by, and they do On the front row, it's going to be Swavely and Austin Gravy, Rutherford and Hanley in row 2, Todd J. Adams and Nick Skias. Nick Skias started 10th, runs in the 6th position, only 3 laps in the books. Green flag in the air, we are underway. Hanley got it up on the outside. Here comes Skias, he's going to go right with him as well. Todd J. Adams to the outside, Heath Hanley to the inside, down the back straightaway. Hanley slides up the racetrack just a little bit, bottles up the momentum of the 63, flips the infield tire, lifts the front wheels off the ground. At the front of the field, Jason Swavely, Mike Rutherford starting to set sail just a little bit. Trouble turn number 2, 1 car going around, that is the 56. Zach Hollinger. Just not the great night tonight that Zach Hollinger would have hoped to start. Hearing the lineup's good, they're going to get doubled up with Hollinger in at the back of the field. Danny Lane not able to gain any ground in the Sloan Ford, number 29J. It'll be interesting to see how that car is able to move up through the field. The restart looks just a little bit different this time. Mike Rutherford, who has the race's fastest lap, 11.819 seconds. 4 laps in the books, Rutherford up to second, and he's going to get to restart in that preferred line. It's kind of interesting, I think, that Jason Swavely's electing to restart on the inside here.
Yeah, these guys are so good at their restarts. They know just like that. Jason got a good start, got to the front. Now he's got Rutherford battling with
Oh,
Gravy.
man, wow. Big hit. Trouble for the 2. That was a big hit into the outside wall. You heard the tires blow on that one.
There's a lot of damage to that car too, Chris.
Yeah, that too, Mike Miller is really jacked up. The whole right rear corner looks like is off the ground. Bradley, we're kind of marveling up here at the amount of damage on the 2. We'll get to see it here as they tow the car in front of us. I've never seen a rear axle that high in the air after outside wall contact.
It looks like it sheared everything off the right side, and then I'm sure the chain popped off and it wrapped around the axle on the left, and that's what it's got it so jammed up and up in the air like that.
Big hit for Mike Miller. That may end the night entirely for that car. We'll have to see if we can get some word from the 2 team. Green flag goes back in the air. Rutherford looks to the outside. Todd J. Adams into the back of Heath Hanley. That's going to open up the door for Nick Skias to look to the inside. Alex Swift going to really stuff it in there as well. Oh, big contact. Pete Skias goes around down the back straightaway. Slides up towards the outside wall. A little bit of contact from the 49. And we're going to stack up 5 cars coming to a stop down the back straightaway.
Looks like a Talladega Nights type of move there. I thought he was going to keep going in reverse.
Yeah, he got turned around backwards, and it almost looked like it was that spot of where can I get outside to get stopped and keep the car going. Ski is able to keep moving just a little bit, but ultimately 5 cars going to come to a stop. 49W of Johnny West is involved in that one. The 5A of Anthony Yerger. The 22 of Clinton Hauser involved. The 25 of Tom Landwehr. And the 55 of Pete Skias. Bradley, it seems like that 55 car is either in the top 3 or having trouble. It's just an on or off year for that car.
Yeah, he's been a lot of both ways, and I know towards the beginning of when our season finally started, he had another incident where he spun early in a race and came back and was battling for the lead. So let's watch that 55 car closely and see if he can bring it to the front again.
Yeah, that one was fun. I can remember standing here going, where did he come from? If there's anybody that's going to push the car and get it to the front of the field, it's going to be Pete Skias. We talked last week about Mike Rutherford and that Hyper chassis 5K, and that they basically did that to prove that you didn't have to run a Viper or an RTS. But there's also that 55 Viper chassis car is one of the best that's going to be out here. I mean, the Skias family and their ties, having built that brand, that's the best you're going to get.
Yeah, they built the brand, have it modeled after their driving style. It's all they've driven for a very long time, and you got to give it to them guys for putting together a really good competitive car.
Green flag back in the air. We're underway. Rutherford looks high to the outside. Austin Graby tried to get to the inside of him. The room is just not there. The outside is just too quick at this point. Almost looks like a little bit might be coming up in turn number 2. Everybody cleanly through that. Keith Hanley looks to the inside of Austin Graby. Here comes Nick Skias. Big slider. Turns 3 and 4. On Alex Swift. Swift able to cross them back over, keep the spot. 6 laps in the books, 19 laps remaining. Trouble for the 5A of Anthony Yerger. That car pulls off to the infield. Danny Lane coming from the back, trying to work around. Oh, caution on the Speedway. Wow. What a piece of driving by Jason Swavely to avoid the 22 of Clinton Hauser, as that car comes to a stop outside of turn number 2. It's really interesting, Bradley, that the high line is so good, but Rutherford is not able to gain as much ground on Swavely as I might have thought. I mean, Swavely's really good up top too, but that 5K car has been really quick here the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they definitely have their stuff figured out, but you got to give it to Swavely. They are fast every week. This is just his type of track, and he's so dominant on the top that Rutherford's a lot of back and forth, a lot more on the bottom, I would say, and it's just one of those things where it's whoever's car is going to be handling the best at this point.
The lights are going out. They're trying to hustle this thing up as much as they can. Green comes back out. Wow. Rutherford down to the inside. He's going to throw the big slider on Graby coming off the corner. Graby cuts it back to the inside. Caution flag is out. Trouble again for the 56. That car goes around in turn 2. Going to be single file restarts the rest of the way here. Seven laps in the books. Going to be single file restarts the rest of the way, like we mentioned. Swavely gets the good jump all in the restart. Rutherford to the outside of Graby. He's going to pick up the spot. try to gain it. Oh, trouble again for Pete Skias. That car goes around off of turn 4. A very animated Pete Skias in the cockpit of that number 55. So the 55 gets refired and is going to tag in at the back of the field. Still 18 laps remaining, and Bradley, I hate to say it, but we're approaching the clock that's rapidly ticking up here again. The lights are out, they're getting ready to go, but we may see time come into play again.
Yeah, it's usually one race a night you see it come into play, but having the 2 makeup features already, these guys need to settle down and just get some laps around here.
Field looks clean for the most part off of turn number 4. Rutherford gaining on Swavely. Caution on the Speedway again. That's going to be strike number 3 on the 56H of Zach Hollinger. 3 strikes rule in play here at the Clyde. That being his 3rd time coming to a stop on the racetrack. That will be the end of this feature race for the 56. They can work on the car, bring it back out, run the heats and the rest of the night. Here the lights are out. They're already ready to go here. Mike Rutherford found something in that race car the last restart because he was quickly gaining on Jason Swavely. Field clean off of turn number 2. Rutherford about a half a car width higher through turns 3 and 4. Alex Swift going to work on Tajay Adams. That's the best battle on the racetrack. It's going to be the battle for 5th, 6th, and we'll include the 3 SNX Skias in 7th. Swift looks inside of the 87 off the corner. Not able to get him at the line. We'll see if he makes it stick off the corner. Yes, he does. Tajay Adams tries to cross back over. He's going to throw the slider in turns 3 and 4. Swift crosses back down onto the racetrack. Tajay Adams has the spot at the line. 10 laps on the board. Jason Swavely, the fastest car on the racetrack. He has 0.4 of a second over Mike Rutherford. We'll stay with that battle between Nick Skias, Tajay Adams. Alex Swift checking out just a little bit. Adams and Skias still doing battle off at turn number 4. Tajay holds on to the spot. They're going to get the cross flags. Then next time, caution flag going to come out on the Speedway. Yellow on the racetrack for the 25 of Tom Landwehr, who spins and stops inside of turn 4. Bradley, the lighting conditions here are really interesting. It is as dark as it looks, but I'm really surprised at the amount of shine we're seeing on the racetrack. There's nothing falling out of the sky right now. That's all the rubber they've laid down.
Yeah, they have the track really dried and slick now. I don't think they would lay too much rubber. You would see guys getting back to the bottom pretty quickly, and this track doesn't take rubber for a long time, it seems. It's more of just a glaze, and then if they don't work the track at all and they leave it go this way, you will definitely see rubber by the end of the heats. And that's why these guys aren't getting back down there yet. It's just too slick for them. Rutherford made a couple shots to the bottom here in 3 and 4, and it just wasn't quite there yet. He knows it's close.
It's almost like it's just, are you close enough to attempt the big dive bomb slider into the corner? Is that going to be the last best chance for some of these guys?
Yeah, I think Rutherford's trying everything other than that right now, because if you get in a slide fest with Swavely, it's not going to end right away, and then you're going to have guys possibly taking that second position from you. So he's just playing it safe for now and timing Swavely's moves and seeing where his weak points are, and that's when he'll make it late in the race.
2 race leaders off single file down the front straightaway, side-by-side battle. First one we're going to see is between Alex Swift and Heath Hanley. In the battle for the 4th position, Swift comes around Hanley. He's trying to make the inside work, but Hanley keeps it wound up on the high side. Move Alex Swift up to the 4th position, and he's going to go to work on Austin Graby in the 87. Tajay Adams and Nick Skias continue to battle as well. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, all fighting a very nice duel. With 10 laps to go, the front of the field almost feels a little bit decided. The gap is still right about a half second. Trouble for the 8Z. That car makes contact with the outside wall, and we're going to get the great look at the lead. Rutherford throws the big slider, keeps it down to the inside. New race leader Mike Rutherford. Swavely going to try it in turns 1 and 2. That was a fantastic piece of driving by Mike Rutherford. Almost cut off the momentum of the slider.
It almost looks like Swavely has an issue with his right rear. There's a ton of vibration getting into the turns, and it's definitely affecting the speed of that car.
Down to 6 laps remaining. Mike Rutherford is the fastest car. Oh, big hit into the outside wall. Austin Graby in the 87 makes heavy contact. We'll see if that car is going to be able to continue. Trouble as well for the 92 with Jason Swavely. Looks like the right front is bent out pretty significantly on that car. Yeah, the toe is really out of whack on that one. Not sure if it's suspension or steering.
It also looks like his right rear shock might be broke. That would be what that vibration was near the end, right before that incident happened, and was definitely affecting that car.
Was that something that you could drive your way through, a broken shock at the rear like that, and try to hold on to it?
Yeah, you can definitely finish a race like that. You're probably not going to win, especially here at Lanco when you got the competition that you do. I could see him salvaging a top 5, but nobody was expecting Swavely to slow up like that, and he got a shot thrown at him by Graby, and it didn't work out the way it was all planned to, and they collected each other into the wall a little bit and ended Swavely's race.
So yeah, we'll see how everything develops here. We are down to 6 laps remaining. First heat races of the night are in the staging area, so we should move pretty quickly to the regularly scheduled racing action. Graby holds on to second. He's up on the outside. Alex Swift looks down to the inside, side-by-side battle again with Heath Hanley and Nick Skias as well. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, toss him under a blanket as they come off at turn number 4. Swift slides up the racetrack in front of Graby, forces him on the binders. That lets Hanley try to make the move inside. Oh, big crossover move. Not sure how Graby missed the front end of Nick Skias. Oh, they do it again off of turn 4. What a piece of driving by Austin Graby and Heath Hanley. 3 wide off the corner. Hanley got stuck in the middle. Down to now 3 laps remaining. Rutherford on the front. Now back straightaway, opening up the gap to Alex Swift in 2nd. Austin Graby holding on to 3rd, but here comes Nick Skias looking to the inside. Caution on the Speedway, trouble for the 25 of Tom Landwehr. 2 laps to go, and we are going to get a green-white checkered.
Chris, it definitely seems like the bottom is coming in sooner than expected, and Swift and Nick Skias and even Heath Hanley all seem to have found it and are coming to the front a little quicker now, and it's going to definitely make for a good finish.
When you're out in the race lead in the position that Mike Rutherford is, you don't run mirrors. You can't. I mean, you have a little bit of sense of where these cars are behind you, but is this an instance where too big of a lead can actually be a bad thing?
Yeah, especially for leading for so long, and when he was running down Swavely was still running the top, so he doesn't know anything about that bottom. It is Mike Rutherford. I'm sure he knows a lot more than we think about the bottom right now, and you also have crew that can give you signals that, hey, they're running the bottom and it's working now. Maybe it's something you should try, or just look for a nose. You might see a nose down there, and that's when it's go time to get to the bottom and just protect for the last 2 laps.
So down to 2 laps to go. Lights are out. We'll see if anybody is going to be able to give a shot to Mike Rutherford. If there's anybody here that'll try the dive bomb move, it's going to be Alex Swift. The kid is incredibly aggressive and very, very talented. Green flag in the air. Everybody cleanly off at turn number 4. Swift not able to get the car hooked up. Here comes Graby in the 87. Looking back to the outside. White flag in the air. No challenge yet to Mike Rutherford. Battle's going to be for second. The lead is 3/4 of a second. Big hit for Tajay Adams into the outside wall. Forces Jared Imler to back off. Little checkered flag in the air. Mike Rutherford picks up the win over Austin Graby, Alex Swift, Heath Hanley, and Nick Skias. To those of you that are watching the National Racing Network live stream, the camera is going to be coming down here in the feed going off air. One, it's time for heat racing, and two, there is a little bit of an aqueous aerial discharge at this point. So we'll see how things are going to develop here. So we will be back. We'll keep your eye on the Facebook pages and the YouTube channel for updates here. You're watching Race Night at the Clyde on the National Racing Network.
At 600cc Performance, our roots run deep in CC racing. A leader in fuel injection, dyno tuning, wiring, and diagnostics. With over 15 years of experience in building and tuning, you can count on us to get you to the winner's circle. Whether it is diagnostics, sales, or service, 600cc Performance is your source for everything CC racing. Find out more at 600ccperformance.com. If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I've taken 25 selfies in the last 10 minutes.
26.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.